So, good evening to all of you. Today I am here with you one more video related to the industrial drives where we are seeing the fourth quadrant operation of a motor driving a hoist load. I hope you can watch this video. You can get a benefit from this video. So after watching this video, if you have any doubt or any query, you can post the comment in my comment box, and also you can message me. Your suggestions, your comments are always welcome. So I try my best to solve your problem, or if you have any problem, you can share me. Now, before discussing about the fourth quadrant operation of a motor driving the load, we are discussing about the types of load. As we know, in case of an industrial drive, we have two types of load occur, and these two type of loads are active load and passive load. So the torques associated with this active load and passive load are called as active load torque and a passive load torque. Now we are discussing what do you mean by this active load torque and this passive load torque. Active torque continues act in a same direction irrespective of the direction of the drive, and this torque is basically called as active load torque. What does it mean? It means if your drive is moving in a clockwise direction, let it be, and your load will also rotate in a clockwise direction. But if you rotate or if you change the direction of the prime mover that is associated with the drive from anti-clockwise to the clockwise, your load direction will not change. That is, load direction is irrespective of your drive direction. This type of torque is basically called as active load torque. For example, your gravitational force, the deformation in the elastic bodies. Here, the direction of rotation is independent of your drive direction. On the another hand, we have a passive load torque where the direction of the load changes accordingly the direction of the drive system. The sense of the load torque changes with the direction of the motion of the drive is known as your passive load torque. For example, torque due to the friction, torque due to shear and deformation in elastic bodies. So these are basically, you can say that the main difference behind the active load torque as well as the passive load torque. And here I can quote the two examples of active load torque and the passive load torque. The gravitational force, deformation in the elastic bodies are the examples of the active load torque, whereas the uh, torque due to friction and due to shear and deformation in elastic bodies are the examples of passive load torque. Coming to the next part, that is a steady state stability. Again, before discussing about the hoist mechanism, we are generally discussing what do you mean by this steady state stability. This steady state stability means every system is bounded in a three main categories, that a system is maybe a stable, maybe unstable, or maybe a marginal stable. This condition of stable, unstable, and marginal stable lies on the characteristic equation, the roots of this characteristic equation that we are covering in your control system. If you remember, if your roots of the characteristic equation of a system lies on left half of S-plane, then your system is unstable. If the roots of the characteristic equation lies on right half of S-plane, then your system is stable. But if your roots lies in the marginal line of S-plane, then the system will be marginal stable. That means this system is bounded between a stability and a non-stability. So If you get a system from unstable condition to stable condition, you have to remove its steady state error. And also we known as your steady state error, which is denoted by ESS, is nothing. It is basically dependent upon your input signal. And in our input signal, we have unit step signal, we have a ramp signal, we have a parabolic signal. So depending upon your input signal, you can get your steady state error. We are seeing that we can change the system from unstable condition to a stable condition by removing its steady state error. Like in steady state error, as we are already discussed, we have unit step, we have ramp step, we have parabolic step. In the same manner, we calculate their positional error coefficients, the velocity error coefficient, the acceleration error coefficients. So if you remove this error coefficients, you can make your system from unstable system to a stable system. So in a hoist mechanism, what will be happen? Again, same thing will be done. Equilibrium speed of the motor load system is obtained when the motor load torque TE is equal to load torque TL. Again, we have two things, that is a stable state of equilibrium point and unstable state of equilibrium point. Means at which particular point this system will be stable and at what particular point this system will be unstable. So the equilibrium point is termed as a stable if the operating point is restored after a small departure from it due to disturbance in the motor or a load. Whereas the equilibrium point is termed as unstable if the operating point will not be restored after a small departure from it due to the disturbance in the motor or a load. That means if you restore that operating point, then the system will be called as a stable system, or if you not remove that a particular operating point, then system will be unstable. And this operating point is basically here act as a steady state error. I think that is clear to all of you. Now this is basically the block diagram of a hoist mechanism system. As you see, you have a lifting drum arrangement. We have lifting drum, we have electrical motor, we have a console panel, we have a hoist cable, we have a counterweight, we have a second pulley. So accordingly, what will be happen when the weight of the counterweight is equal to the weight of the cage, then there is no forward as well as the backward action will take place. When your cage is empty and the counterweight is heavy or greater than the cage weight, then there is action take place, and depending upon the direction of the motor, whether the direction of the motor is a clockwise or an anti-clockwise, your cage will move your upward direction as well as a downward direction, which I discuss with you all people in your next slides. I think this diagram will be clear to all of you. Now this is basically the fourth quadrant operation of a drive. What will be happen? We are dividing our hoist mechanism in your fourth quadrant. The quadrant number 1, quadrant number 2, quadrant number 3, quadrant number 4. In quadrant number 1 and 2, there is a forward motoring action will take place. And in quadrant number 3 and quadrant number 4, there is reverse motoring action will take place. As you see, in your quadrant number 1, we have a loaded cage. Quadrant number 2, we have an empty cage. 3, we have an empty cage. And 4th, we have a loaded cage. In the same manner, in quadrant number 1, motor torque will be on an anti-clockwise direction. Quadrant number 2, motoring torque will be in a clockwise direction. Quadrant number 3, again in a clockwise direction. And in a quadrant number 4, we have an anti-clockwise direction. And also, this thing will be again with the load torque. So we are discussing these quadrants one by one, where we are basically dealing with the three main things, that is your load torque, that is your motor torque, and your speed of rotation, whether it is a clockwise or whether it is a anti-clockwise direction. I think up till that there is a no issue. You can clear each and everything. Now we will discuss this hoist mechanism. Now, as you've seen in your fourth quadrant operation of a motor driving a hoist consisting of a cage with or without load, a rope wound on a drum to the hoist, the cage and a balanced weight of magnitude greater than that of empty cage but less than of a loaded one take place. The arrows in the figure indicates the actual direction of the motor torque, the load torque, and the motion in all the fourth quadrant. The load torque of a hoist mechanism may be assumed to be a constant, that is independent of the speed, since the forces due to friction and windage are small. In case of low speed hoist, and torques is primarily due to the gravitational pull on the cage. This torque being an active and a load torque does not change its sign. Now what will be happen? In first quadrant, the load torque acts in an opposite direction to the rotation. Hence, to drive the loaded hoist up, the developed torque in the motor Tm acts in the same direction as the speed of rotation. That is, Tm should have a positive sign. And since the speed is also positive sign, being an upward motion, the power will also have a positive sign. The drive is said to be a motoring, and the quadrant number 1 we have a forward motoring action. The hoist up of the unloaded cage is represented in the second quadrant. Since the counterweight is heavier than the empty, the speed at which the hoist is moved upward may reach at a dangerously very high value. In order to avoid this, the motor torque must be in an opposite direction. This is one of the most important points that should be kept in mind. Hence, Tm will have a negative side, whereas TL will have a positive side, giving the power has a negative sign. And this will be occur in your quadrant number 2. The third quadrant represents the downward motion of an empty cage. The downward journey of the cage is prevented by the torque due to the counterweight and the friction at the transmitting parts. So in order to move the cage downward, the motor torque must be act in the same direction as the motion of the cage. The electrical machine act as a motor in a first quadrant but in a reverse direction. The quadrant 3 becomes as reverse motoring. The motor torque has a negative sign, and hence you can say that your speed is having a positive sign. So I think up till that you have clear everything. Now in the last quadrant, the downward motion of the loaded cage is follows. The motion can take place under the action of the load itself without the use of any motor. But the speed of downward motion can be dangerously very high. Therefore, in that case, your electrical machine act as a brake, limiting the speed downward motion of the hoist. The motor torque has a positive sign. It causes decrease in speed in the downward direction. The speed, of course, has a negative sign and the downward journey start. So in this way, all the fourth quadrant operations can be carried out. I think up till that stage, all the operations of the fourth quadrant should be clear to all of you. Now I can summarize all these things in a tabular form so that you can remember it and you can be easily understood. Now this is you have the whole summary about the fourth quadrant operation. Here we have the column number 1, the operation of the hoist, that is Tm motor torque, TL load torque, Wm that is motor speed, the power, the operations of the drive. We have first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Now you can see in your first quadrant, the hoisting up the loaded cage. Now in that case, your motor torque will be positive. Your load torque is in opposite direction with the motor torque. It is negative. Your speed will be positive, and hence your power remains positive. And this is called as the forward motoring. In second quadrant, the hoisting up of the unloaded cage. Now see, motoring action or the motor changes its direction. It becomes as negative. Moreover, the load torque also changes its direction. It is positive. The speed is also changes, that is positive, and the power is as a negative. So here you have a forward braking will take place. In the third quadrant, the downward motion of the unloaded cage. Now you can see you're motoring in the same direction. Your load torque is also in the same direction, but your speed becomes as negative. So here the power remains positive, and this is called as reverse motoring. And in the last, you have a fourth quadrant, the downward motion of the loaded cage. Here you can see the direction of the rotation of the motor changes from negative to the positive. Load torque also changes from negative to the positive. Your speed remains same. Hence, overall, your power remains negative, and this is known as reverse braking. So you can get an idea about this chart, how this fourth quadrant operation of a drive work. So this is all about the fourth quadrant operation of a drive system, how you can see the fourth quadrant of a hoist mechanism work. I think all the doubts you have cleared, but if you have still doubts, you can post any type of comment in my comment box. I will try my best to clear all the doubts, and if you have any other suggestion, you can drop the message. So with this, thank you so much to all who are watching my video carefully. In the next video, I will come with another topic. So thank you so much.